Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what do you genuinely just not understand? How the brain really works. How a lump of meat gives us thoughts, emotions, that voice inside our heads. It's actually a lump of cholesterol and fat. Enjoy. Edit. I thought to myself, add enjoy to the end, people might like that. Rip my inbox and I get gold. WTF. Oh sh. I get it now. To be fair, no one understands consciousness. It's the world's greatest mystery. Edit. Oof, this comment really brought out the well actually brigade. Do me a favor and don't reply to this with some comment trying to explain neuroscience. That's missing the point entirely. I understand it. I just won't tell anyone. I'll give you a clue though, washing machine. Edit. Since someone was so kind to award me with gold, I feel obliged to give another clue regarding the absolute comprehension of consciousness, Sean Connery. Edit 2. Since I'm a well-behaved person, I would like to say thanks for the silver ace will. No more clues though. My people are mad at me already. I've said too much. I've followed 3 courses in the past year about consciousness, I've read so much, made so many assignments, attended so many lectures. I have legitimately only gotten more confused. Edit. Wow, first silver. Thanks for making my day. The brain is so complex that it doesn't understand itself. Let that sink in for a moment. If the brain were so simple we could understand it, we would be so simple we couldn't. Why do I keep opening the fridge every 5 minutes when I know there's nothing in there? Because you're lowering your standards. Well, this is correct. How 1 horse can pull up to 8,000 pounds, but 2 horses can pull 2,400 0. Furthermore, if the horses are friends they can pull up to 3,200 pounds. Does this mean 10 horses can pull the earth? Only if the 10 horses are friends. Friendship is magic. Horsepower is crazy, man. Edit. Silver. Hell yeah. Thank you, sweet, sweet stranger. I prefer zebra trust. How come I hate myself and am desperately insecure, yet I think I'm better than everyone else at the same time? WTF brain. Because how you see yourself and how you see others are 2 different things. You judge yourself by your potential while you judge everyone else by what they've done. Space. It's such a massive entity that imagining even small units like galaxies is hard. How on earth are there pictures of the universe? Is there more? Where does it all end? Absolutely fascinating, but there is so much more to learn. Edit. Wow. Thanks for gold. I'm reading everyone's replies, but it's hard to come up with something clever to everyone. By pictures I mostly mean artist imaginings and those sort of portrayals. I know there aren't actually pictures of it. Where does it all end? For me, this is the scariest question. Isn't it a paradox? On one hand, it can't go on literally forever, it must end somewhere. But if you get to the end, what's on the other side? I can't wrap my head around it. Why does it have to end? The idea of everything having a start and end point is a human idea based off of our perception relative to the world we live in. Contrary to one of the more popular comments in here, why I can't draw well. Like, I know how a normal human face looks like. I can even put a picture next to it and try to replicate every line. Yet, in the end, it looks shitty. Why? Edit. Thanks for my first ever edit gold and silver. Here are some of the most frequent suggestions in the answers for people who don't want to go through all of them. Draw with the eyes, not the brain. To help with that, you can try turning the reference picture upside down to focus on the actual lines. As an extra help, you can layer the picture into a grid pattern to get the proportions right. And for all aspiring artists, practice. You might be focusing on the whole picture more than the individual parts. A lot of art teachers will make beginners turn their reference photo upside down and draw it that way just so they can focus on what the lines and shadows actually look like rather than what their brain thinks they should look like. This is similar to a tip I read/heard once about searching for an object in a room. English-speaking people mostly do everything left to right. When looking around, you'll usually do the same thing, forming a cohesive picture of the entire scene, just like those sentences with duplicated words that our brain autocorrects. Scanning right to left instead kind of forces you to focus on individual objects and makes a search easier. Probably just in my head, but it seems to work for me. Honestly, politics. I get some stuff, and I'm trying to educate myself more on different issues, but anytime someone tries to bring up certain issues, how I feel on certain matters, etc., I just tell them I don't have enough knowledge on the topic to have a strong opinion on the matter. Makes me feel stupid sometimes, but better off that than stir the pot on something I know next to nothing about. I just tell them I don't have enough knowledge on the topic to have a strong opinion on the matter. Hearing you say that would immediately make me respect you. I wish more people thought like this, myself included. They're nothing worse than someone pretending to know everything. Why some people can't understand that to have space to get in, you need to let the people out first. Threesomes can be frustrating. Edit, thanks for the metal and upvotes. Jesus, yes. Let the people out of the train, then you can get on. It's not leaving with the doors open. How we sometimes understand something differently from another person even though we are looking or experienced the same thing. Past memories affect how to deal with current issues. As an example, person A has never had hardship, so they get fucked up from the situation they experienced with person B, who has experienced hardship and deals with the current situation better. Radio frequencies. It's crazy how it can just end up playing music out of the air. Einstein. You see, wire telegraph is a kind of a very, very long cat. You pull his tail in New York and his head is meowing in Los Angeles. Do you understand this? And radio operates exactly the same way. You send signals here, they receive them there. The only difference is that there is no cat. After an exhaustive 4-minute-long search, I've decided that there's no evidence that Einstein ever said that, and similar versions of the quote can be found as far back as 1866. Imagine that the telegraph is an immense long dog so long that its head is at Vie and its tail is at Paris. Well, tread on its tail, which is at Paris, and it will bark at Vie. Do you understand now, stupid, what the telegraph is like? How TVs work. A signal is broadcasted over the air by a tower. Within that signal is audio and video data, which I suppose both must be joined together. Somehow, the TV knows how to interpret the signal and say here's the audio and here's the video, fine, I can get that. But, somehow the signal also includes data that says, here's the top of the image, here's the bottom, here's the left, here's the right, and here's all of the colors in the picture. I don't know what's going on there and I've wondered how much data can be packed into a TV signal. This technology has been around for decades and I don't understand it. I don't even want to even think of how Wi-Fi works. Edit, as others may have mentioned, there's other complexities in TVs such as closed captioning, picture-in-picture, VCRs, and I have no idea what else, that is in a common household item that we take for granted. Thanks for all of the explanations. I'm not going to be an expert, but you all have helped me grasp the concepts. So TV signals aren't mostly broadcast by air anymore. Not all TV signals are broadcast by air, cable TV isn't, but the logic is the same for old school TV signals, or more modern ones, or Wi-Fi, or most other signals. There's no magic in the signal or in the TV. It's all about the sender and the receiver agreeing on a format, agreeing on how to interpret the data. Let's simplify this and imagine a TV that only displays a 3x3 grid of colors. So it could receive a signal that looks like green, red, blue, yellow, blue, red, red, green, blue. What's the top or the bottom? Depends completely on how we agree to interpret the signal. Suppose we said the signal is to be read in rows, from left to right, so the first color is the leftmost square of the first row, and the last color in the signal is the rightmost square of the last row. Then the prior signal would be displayed on the TV like GRB, YBR, RGB. The same signal could lead to a different display though if you interpreted it differently, like in columns instead of rows. There's no change in the signal. Of course the signal can't have green in it either, so how to put specific colors into it? That's again the same problem, it's just about agreeing how to interpret colors. The how to interpret this signal part is then written into various standards, which are hopefully widely and consistently used. In the TV example, it was actually a giant pain in the ass because there were 3 standards, PAL, SECAM, NTSC, with widespread adoption worldwide, but in different countries. Most of Europe used PAL, but France used SECAM. So a TV that just understands PAL would be useless in France. In practice that was a long time ago. Reasonably modern TVs would understand both standards, but the North American NTSC would be unavailable even quite recently in TVs sold in Europe. Edit. Obligatory thanks for the gold. Didn't expect this quick simple write-up to get much attention. One important addition here, this example isn't just simpler than existing standards, it's much, much simpler. I don't know much about data for TV specifically, but I'm familiar with some other data formats and communication protocols, and they are complicated stuff. But the basic idea is always the same, it's all just data that does something useful because of the agreed standard protocols, and not because of any magic in the data itself. I get all of this jazz, but WTF actually physically are radio waves? What is physically happening when a signal is transferred through a wire, and how does this properly work without getting mixed with other signals?